she's coming.
She's coming. Okay. We'll go ahead and get started with opening statement from Coach Mark Kellogg, and then we'll go to questions for our student athletes, and another student athlete will join us momentarily. So go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, thank you. Proud of our group, proud of the effort, especially on the defensive end. I really thought coming in it could look a little bit something like that just based on Princeton and the way they defend. I thought they were maybe under-evaluated or underappreciated for how good they are on the defensive end. And we talked a lot about, or people did too, and we read quite a bit about Chin and some of the stuff they do offensively. But I thought we had a chance to defend them if we were dialed in and locked in. And a little out of sorts early, but I thought we settled in pretty quickly after that and played and competed. I want to say they got up 9, if I'm not mistaken, there in that second quarter. And then I thought our run to kind of cut it to 2, Jordan hit the big 3 going in to half to give us a little momentum, I thought was huge for us. And so we just hung around enough in the first half until we finally looked like ourselves in the third quarter. And, that was us at our best. We couldn't get the pace going. It was too slow. Couldn't get them turned over. So finally in that third quarter, we played a little bit of pace, let some defense lead to some offense. And, that's us really at our best. But again, we weren't great tonight, but we were good enough. Obviously the free throws was an issue and the rebounding. So we got to get that fixed for sure. But again, proud of them. Thought we gutted it out, especially when some things weren't great offensively for us. Thought JJ was special again. She has been all year. I hope people across the country are starting to realize how talented she is. But we have a great backcourt. They've been dynamite for us. I thought they were really, really good. And then I thought Kylie Blackston had some really good minutes, and especially in that third quarter for us. And the rest of the kids just battled their way through. So happy to advance. Congrats to Princeton on a fantastic year. That team was really, really good and everything and more from what we wanted.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll start off with questions for Jordan Harrison.
Hi, Jordan. John Bonenkamp from the Associated Press. What happened in the second half, and how much did your defense really kind of change that game, especially in the third quarter?
I mean, we knew we had 20 minutes left to either give it our all or go home. So we just went back to what we've been doing all season. We finally settled in a little bit, got some deflection, slowed them down. Start playing in transition like we always do and how we've been doing all year. So we just fed off of that momentum and that energy, and we just kept going the rest of the game.
Hi, Luke Blaine, Daily Athenaeum. Jordan, what about Princeton defensively? I mean, it was such a low-scoring bout in the first half. What about them defensively kept it that way?
They switched, every ball screen, and each person that switched the screen could stay in front of, all of West Virginia, our team. So, honestly, just them switching the screens, that what we kind of struggled with. And then whenever we did get a mismatch, they did good at, getting their bigs back on our bigs whenever there was a little.
Over here on the left.
Yeah, Jordan, Michael Vogel from ESPN.com. I think you guys averaged almost 14 steals a game leading the Big 12. You've played a lot of good offenses. How does that ability to turn over opponents going to help you guys against Iowa on Monday?
Honestly, like we've been doing all year, we feed off of transition buckets, steals, deflections. So we're not going to change nothing. We're going to do what West Virginia does, and that's get turnovers regardless who the team is.
Go ahead.
Jen Hatfield with the Next. Coach mentioned your buzzer beater to end the first half. Can you just kind of walk me through what you remember of that possession, and then how big was it for you and for your teammates, in the halftime locker room, knowing that you had that kind of momentum swing?
I know it was a high ball screen. I came off, picked up my dribble. Probably shouldn't, but I saw JJ there, so I kicked it to her, and then they both went with the big, and then I was wide open. And I just let it go. I mean, I knew it was going to go in, so I'm just glad it did.
Next question, right here in the front.
I'd turn around to U92 radio. This is for JJ. You kind of had a little moment after you were shooting your last 2 free throws and you missed that first one where you looked a little disappointment. Was it going through your head that you had an opportunity for 30 in an NCAA tournament game?
No, not really. I was just mad that I was missing a whole bunch of free throws, honestly. I mean, a lot of people probably get disappointed missing free throws, so just because of that.
Towards the back. We'll go there. Go to the back first.
Braden Roberts, Iowa Rivals. Last year, JJ, battles from Georgia in the second round kind of went shot for shot with Caitlin Clark. Is that something you're looking forward to on Monday?
I mean, I hope not. I hope we can put the game away a little faster than that, and we don't have to go shot for shot. But, I mean, whatever happens, happens.
Back here in the front.
Yeah, Jordan, as somebody who's usually one of the shortest players on the court, you attack the rim so much and, you know, you get a lot of rebounds. What is it that helps you have success down low?
Honestly, I just been doing it my whole life, so I just got pretty good at it, you know. I got a good little reach a little bit, you know, got good touch, especially, you know, going right. So, I mean, yeah, I just been doing it for so long that it comes easy.
Here in the middle.
Aaron Parker, U92 Radio. This is for JJ. This was kind of asked before you stepped in here. Princeton seemed to be okay with the pressure in the first couple quarters. What really changed in that third quarter run to really get them off balance?
We went in at the half, and, you know, Coach said, like, that's not us. Like, our defense is way better than that. So we just picked it up, showed some intensity, some toughness, and you see what happened.
Far left.
Hi, I'm Hope Perry from the Princeton Alumni Weekly. This is for Coach.
No, excuse me. For a couple more questions for just players.
Okay, I'm happy to direct this one to Jordan then as well. So this, you know, this was a tough game in the first half for you guys. You really seemed to struggle a lot with Princeton's defense, especially. And so one thing I'm wondering, you know, with Columbia having just, you know, made it into the tournament, 2 teams, do you think that that people should sorry, I lost my train of thought. Do you think that there's more to Ivy League basketball maybe than people have been giving it credit for in the past few years?
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, Ivy League is a really good league. I mean, I give it to those girls, you know, they got, you know, it's pretty tough in the classroom and they do basketball, so they balance both of those well. But yeah, I mean, I think they should get, you know, a lot more exposure because they're really good basketball players, really smart, and, you know, they can do exactly what Power 5 schools do, so yeah.
Take one more for the players here in the front row.
I mean, this could be for either of you. You talked about how, I guess I'll go to JJ. You know, you said how at halftime, Coach said that, you know, that's not who you were defensively with the press and being better with that. The other thing was, you know, you were out-rebounded significantly in the first half, let up a lot of offensive rebounds, not so much in the second half. What was said at halftime? What adjustments went into kind of fixing that?
Pretty much the same thing. He kind of gives us goals before each game to keep them at a certain amount of rebounds or points, steals, whatever. So that number was, I ain't going to put the number out there, but, I mean, they got a couple more rebounds than we expected to, and he just told them to just keep working. I mean, Kylie, Danelle, everybody who was out there battled on the boards and did what we needed to do.
All right, players, student athletes, thank you. You're excused. And we'll go right to questions for Coach Kellogg. Please raise your hand. Go ahead, Steve.
Steve Silverman, Ivy Hoops Online. Coach, Princeton took 21 three-point shots in this game, 12 in the first half. They don't normally take that many threes. Was that something that you wanted? I mean, was it part of your game plan to basically tempt them to shoot from 3?
No, we did not have a goal. We had a goal that we wanted to hold their makes under, but not necessarily attempts. Some of those came late too, probably, when they were playing from behind a little bit in that fourth quarter. So, no, I mean, I think they made, 5 or 5.8 a game, something like that, and they made 6 tonight. So we needed to keep them somewhere around that number. Thought if it got up into the 9, 10, 11, then, we might be in a little bit of trouble. And then, they made 2 or 3 there. It felt like right off the bat, St. Rose hit 2 right there in that first quarter. So it was kind of like, uh-oh, here we go. But if you can make teams somewhat one-dimensional, then I think that's an advantage. So I think points in the paint swayed pretty heavily our way. And, if they were taking perimeter shots, then they weren't getting paint touches, and that was something that was important to us.
Jen Hadfield with the Next. Going back to that press, were there any tactical changes you made at half, or was it just locking in more? Like, what specifically do you think was the difference between, Princeton being able to handle your pressure in the first half and kind of not being able to handle your pressure nearly as much in the second?
Yeah, there were some minor tactical adjustments, which I'm not going to go ahead and give you those in case we need them again. And really, it was just settling in to see what their press breaker was going to be. Was it something we had seen on film? They had a week to prepare something different if they wanted to. It looked like they had a couple different press breakers prepared for us, depending on what press we ran. So it was just kind of that back and forth from the coaching side that, hey, here's a couple things we wanted to do. I thought we had backed off a little bit. But part of it, too, is we weren't scoring. And we can't press if we don't score very effectively. So we needed to score a little bit more, which we did in that third quarter.
Okay, here in the front on the left. There you go.
Yeah, Coach, you guys beat Oklahoma, which is obviously a fairly high-scoring offense. It's really led by guards. Does that game at all remind you of the matchup with Iowa coming up?
I think that's somewhat fair, for sure. Yeah, that they play at this is the elite offense in the country. Oklahoma was, I think, top 5 or 6 as well when we played them. They can definitely get it going from 3. Now, the way they run their offense is probably a little bit different, and obviously Caitlin is special, but they're really, really talented around her. But there are some similarities in how good they are in transition, how free they play on the offensive end. I thought OU does the same thing. They just play with this freedom on the offensive end, and so yeah, there'll probably be a similar conversation or a game plan that we can use again.
Max Hines, Daily Princetonian. So neither team shot particularly well from the free throw line. You guys shot 50%, and Princeton shot just about 60%. What can you attribute that to? Do you think it was just playing in March, the sight lines in Carver-Hawkeye, or what do you think was the factor?
Yeah, I don't know. We may need to check the rims, but then I was like, well, the first game that wasn't a problem, so I guess it's not the rim. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe nerves, maybe excitement. I think shooting is contagious, though, and even from the free throw line, when you see even your teammates make free throws, I think that rim starts to get a little bit bigger, and if you're watching misses, then that rim may seem to get a little bit smaller. So we're a better free throw shooting team than that. We'll have to be better than that, obviously, on Monday night. But, yeah, we'll get it corrected, I hope.
Joe Mercado, West Virginia Metro News. Mark, how important was it to get 10 points out of Kylie, and did you expect that this was a game that she might have a good matchup and be able to give you what she gave you?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the matchup, I don't think, for Kylie, but I think she's been trending this way now for weeks. So I'm excited for her to get to double figures. We talk a lot about trying to get 4 to double figures, which we still didn't quite do, but to get 3, just takes a little bit of the burden off these 2 that were up here earlier. And I thought her third quarter was pretty good. She was active, obviously hit the 3 in that quarter too to get her going, but wasn't a ton of rebounds, but I thought her activity on that end helped as well. So yeah, she's been trending in the right direction.
Roberts, Iowa rivals. Coach, some good pressing teams like Ohio State have taken the press off pretty early against Iowa. Do you have any preliminary thoughts on your matchup press against Iowa?
No, not yet. Yeah, it could be difficult for sure, but we said the same thing when you play an OU, and so we'll go back and have those conversations tonight and obviously into tomorrow. But yeah, this is elite, and they're pretty good in transition, so we may have to be a little careful, but we'll go figure it out.
John.
Hey, Mark. John Bonenkamp from the Associated Press. JJ played 40 minutes. What makes her that type of player that you want to have her out there the whole time?
Yeah, well, obviously she has a motor. She's a high-level conditioned athlete, which you have to be. She's an elite scorer. We usually try to get her a break at least in the first half. Jordan got the foul, so that kind of we just weren't able to do that, and it kind of took us out of our normal rotation. So she's done it before. I think she played 40 in the last game, too, in the Big 12 tournament. So she's just conditioned enough to do that, and she's a phenomenal scorer. So, all eyes go to her when she's on the floor, which makes everybody around her better, too.
Luke Blaine, Daily Athenaeum. So this was a very physical game. Do you feel that playing such a long stretch in the Big 12 and just being in the Big 12 in general prepares the team better for a game as physical as this one?
I do, and we knew that, kind of watching them on film, especially at the post. Princeton's very physical, very tough, great rebounders. So we knew we had our hands full, especially with those guys. So, yeah, we were prepared. The Big 12, 100%, the size that we see in that league prepared us.
U92 radio. How much weight is taken off the shoulders to get that first March Madness win, and how long will you kind of relish and enjoy it, or is it right on to Iowa?
It's right on to Iowa, so yeah, unfortunately, I won't get to relish it a whole lot. I don't know. I never looked at it like there was a weight on my shoulders or anything like that. I'm excited to get it. I'd been twice at SFA, and had leads and went to overtime a year against Georgia Tech and couldn't quite close it. So, it feels good, and you want to get the first. You can't advance if you don't win one. But that's where we want our program to be. We want to be in the postseason. We want to advance in the postseason. That was something in a term that I used in the press conference almost a year ago, that was the goal, was I want to be a postseason team and I want to advance in it. And so this is a start for sure.
Aaron Parker, U92 Radio. You've mentioned all year and just now you want to get 4 scores a night if you can, at least 3 on any given night. Only 7 looks, only 7 field goals for Lauren Fields and Kai Watson put together. What does it say about Jordan and JJ and even Kylie to where if there's not 4 scores, you can go out and still beat a really good Princeton team?
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of having those types of players, is that if it's not clicking or you're not making shots, or you have a game plan, which we did, and then we kind of had to go away from it a little bit. Credit to Princeton for some of that. But we do need to do a better job. We need to get Lauren a few more touches, Kaya, some of those guys, Jayla. So that's still on us, but at the same time, just do what you got to do to win the game, and that's what we did tonight.
Joe Mercado, West Virginia Metro News. Mark, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but to navigate the minutes where Jordan got in foul trouble, particularly late in the first half and then early in the fourth quarter, how important were those stretches to cut into the lead late in the second quarter?
Yeah, no, really important, and to do it without her. Good confidence for the rest of the group. But Jayla Hemingway's another one that's played really well over the last 3-4 weeks probably, and so, I thought she defended her off. I thought she was really good on the defensive end, and she's some of our toughness. I've said that from day one. Our toughness is wrapped up into 0-0, that identity, and so really happy for her to kind of have the super senior close that she's had.
Got time for 1 or 2 more. Jen, over here on the left.
Just wanted to ask you about Princeton's guards. Madison St. Rose, Caitlin Chen. You were able to turn them over, several times, but they also combined for 39 points. I'm just curious, what are some of the biggest challenges of defending those 2 in particular?
Yeah, it's just that ability to get to the mid-range, which scares you, so then you play off of them, and then, Chen even hitting those threes today, that was, a little bit of what we wanted to do, I guess, early, was kind of see if she would take one, kind of dare her to take one, and then I think she hit the first one when we went under that ball screen, hit another one in that corner in front of their bench in the third quarter, and then we just kind of had to adjust. But yeah, their ability really to put it on the floor, get to their mid-range. I haven't seen a team as good at mid-range as Princeton, really probably ever in our scouting. And so they're really good there, and can make the 3, and at times they get to the rim, but that mid-range is pretty good, and we fouled them, 2 or 3 times, I think, on some jump shooters, which is a no-no.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Okay, we'll use the same format. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Berube, and then we'll go to questions for the student athletes.
Yeah, first off, just want to congratulate West Virginia on a great game and advancing to the second round. Coach Kellogg is doing a terrific job with that program with only 1 year under his belt. I thought they were really aggressive and really came at us, especially in that third quarter. And I felt like that was a big turning point. I thought we started the game off well, but they really, took it to us. They're very good in the full court, but they're clearly a very tough defensive team in the half court as well. This is one game and one loss on a amazing season that we had, and I couldn't be more proud of these two, of my entire team, of our senior class in particular, our captains, Ellie, Chet, and Caitlin, for just giving this program everything that they had. You couldn't find three people that care more, that want to be great, that get in the gym, and just amazing people to be around, and gonna miss them very much. But I think they've left an incredible legacy, left it better than when they came, and Maddie now has the blueprint of how to be a Princeton Tiger. So it is definitely this stings. I didn't think our season would be over tonight, but it's basketball. Things happen. Games ebb and flow, and a lot of credit goes to the Mountaineers for playing a terrific game.
Thank you, Coach. We'll open up to questions for Caitlin or Madison. Please raise your hand with a question.
Hey guys, Jen Hatfield with The Next. For both of you, can you just talk a little bit about what you felt like was working in that first half to kind of get in a rhythm against their defensive pressure, and maybe what felt a little bit different in the second half?
I think in the first half we took care of the ball really well. We really valued our every possession, and we were able to sort of get into our stuff well. I think they came out with that 1-2-2 at the start of the third quarter, and that sort of like put a little more pressure on us. We got a little angsty with the ball, sort of was a little careless with it a few times. I think it was like maybe 4 minutes in that third quarter we didn't take care of the ball, and that was sort of what hurt us.
Yeah, and kind of like Caitlin said in the beginning, we were playing with poise, we were moving the ball well, finding open shooters, and then I guess that kind of changed once we went into the third quarter and they started to apply a little pressure and we weren't being as strong, and yeah, they just got a lot of deflections.
Steve Silverman, Ivy Hoops Online. Caitlin, I'm wondering if you can just pick up where your coach left off for a moment about the legacy that you're leaving behind. 4 Ivy League titles, 3 Ivy League tournament MVPs for you personally. What has it meant for you over these last 4 years?
I mean, playing for Princeton has meant everything to me. I couldn't have done anything without my amazing coaches and teammates, and I think that's what I'm going to miss the most. It's going to be tough not being able to play next to Maddie, Ellie, Chad, to play for Coach, and our amazing coaching staff. But, I mean, this place and this program has given me the best 4 years of my life, and I've met such amazing people, and I'm so grateful for that experience, and I couldn't be happier than here than anywhere else.
Next question. Any further questions for our players? Over here on the left.
Maddie, you went from 2 points in last year's March Madness to 22 points today. What changed for you year over year, and how do you take today's performance and try and lead the team going into the future?
Yeah, I would say my confidence definitely changed from last year to this year, but I couldn't really do that without my teammates, like leaders like Caitlin, Ellie, and Chet. They have put so much faith and trust in me to just be me and play confidently and just play basketball. And I don't know, I just feel like without them, I wouldn't be the player I am today. And just moving forward and thinking about how much we're about to lose and how much amount of like, I guess, heart and just, I don't know, life that these seniors have put into this team, it's really going to suck. And I'm really going to miss them so much. So,
Steve, there in the middle.
This is for either or both of you. Can you look forward to next year a little bit, and what do you think it's going to be like coming back, Maddie, for you for your third year, and Caitlin, what do you think? You're leaving this team behind now, but how do you look at what the prospects are next year and the group that's going to be available next year to lead the way?
I mean, I think this year has been really good for especially our younger players like Maddie and Sky. Like, they've really stepped up and stepped into their role. I think they've done a fantastic job all year, and I'm honestly just really looking forward to seeing how they'll grow and develop next year and become the leaders that they are. And I mean, Coach and our whole coaching staff, like, they're going to continue to develop the players in our programs. We're getting really great recruits the next freshman class, so I'm just really looking forward to watching this team play.
Yeah, and just looking forward, like, since we do have a lot of underclassmen, I feel like we learned so much from this experience, from the seniors, and I think what we've learned from this season is definitely going to carry over into next season, and I feel like we're just going to be more ready and prepared, and hopefully we'll make it back to the March Madness tournament.
Any further questions for our student athletes? All right. Thank you, ladies. We'll go right into questions for Coach.
Jen Hadfield with the next. Carlos, kind of the same question I asked the players, but what did you see as the biggest differences between that first half and second half when it came to breaking the press and kind of, whatever your game plan was coming in, how much do you feel like you stuck to that versus got away from it versus made adjustments to it? How did that kind of play out?
Different presses that they used against us. Yeah, I mean, I thought we had a good game plan. Yeah, I think they just turned it up, turned that pressure up, and yeah, I mean, just got a little bit careless. There's a couple times they kind of just ripped it from us as well, and then they took advantage, just of those opportunities on their offensive end. I think that they did a great job with their ball screen and getting us into switches, and maybe we could have done something differently with the ball screen action, but I trust all my players out there to guard any of them. But I thought Quinterly was just awesome. She's a really tough player. The way she can change her speed. She's going fast at one point, and then all of a sudden it slows down so much, and it just gets you off your defensive rhythm. So I think those two things were a combination of kind of what happened in that second half, and then we just couldn't score. I think we had some great opportunities, and then their pressure put us into situations where it was really low shot clock, and we were struggling to get good shots. So. I think it was a lot to do with just the West Virginia defense.
Steve Silverman, Ivy Hoops Online. Coach, your team took 21 three-pointers tonight. 12 of those, I believe, were in the first half. And maybe what you were just saying a moment ago will be part of the answer here, but was that what you wanted? I mean, you mentioned that there was a lot of late in the shot clock shots, and maybe was that part of the reason why you ended up settling for so many threes, and did you want to be taking that many threes?
Yeah, well, I think in the first half they were playing their matchup zone, and so I do think we were open on a lot of those shots. Thought we had some good corner three looks. I thought Sky had some great looks too. So I'm not sure the first half threes were really rushed. I thought they were pretty much good shots. Yeah, in the second, I thought, right, there was some late shot clock. We certainly took quite a few at the end, just trying to get back into the game. When you're down 10, you got to make up, kind of quickly. And so I think a combination. Yeah, we don't normally take that many threes, but I think it was, a lot to do with their defense and what they were throwing at us. That, a lot of them were good looks.
On a similar note to taking so many threes, Ellie and Chet only combined for 5 points, and West Virginia outscored you in the paint 34-16. What specifically stopped you guys from having success inside?
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a good job of packing the paint. I don't think we got a lot of good looks in there. They're strong. They're aggressive. They had some size. Blackston and some of the players off their bench. It was hard to get just those looks inside. I thought we came down with a lot of offensive rebounds and just didn't get great looks to put it back up. So yeah, I'm not sure. I think we looked inside, but it was also a lot of it took a while for us to break their press, so we couldn't get into our typical sets. So credit to West Virginia.
Back to the middle.
Coach, how big a deal was it for that three from Harrison to go in at the buzzer at the end of the first half?
Yeah, I mean, sure, you don't want to go into the half giving the other team momentum. Great look, great shot. But, I think we came out in the third quarter ready to go. I thought we were focused. I don't know if it was Maddie or someone hit a three to start the third quarter. So we were back into it. Yeah, that was a good momentum swing for them.
Any further questions? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I wondered if you'd be willing to also take a look ahead to next year and talk about the group that you've got coming back. I know it's an amazing trio that is graduating, but if you could just talk a little bit about who's coming back next year and what your outlook is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every year when the season ends, you're like, gosh, that group, how are we gonna replace them? It's just, I think this, it's just hard because, Ellie was there with me when I started, so we have a great bond with her, and Caitlin and Chet were, it was just a different start with them to their college experience during COVID. So, it's just a special class, but like I said, I think they've left a great legacy and a blueprint on how you go about things, how you work, how you care about this program and your teammates and your coaches. And yeah, I mean, I think we've got some great, talented, skilled, hardworking players coming back. Maddie's one of them. Sky, and there's a great group that we really haven't seen too much of, that I'm absolutely just excited to coach moving forward. It's a great group coming back, so it's hard to think about that right now because I care so much about these seniors and these captains, and but I know that my staff, who is absolutely amazing, is gonna do a great job of developing this younger group.
Tanner Mounts, U92 Radio. What can you take away from a loss like this moving forward? You're talking about that class that needs to now step up into the roles and losing those leaders. What can you take from a loss where maybe things went south quickly and got chaotic that can, kind of kickstart a great season next year?
Yeah, I mean, this absolutely stings. It stings 1 through 17 of our players, and so hopefully they're like, wow, this is a great experience, and you can never take away, like, being in March Madness and being at this stage is just amazing. And yes, we lost, but wow, what a season. But yeah, I'm assuming that Maddie is like, let's go. I'm sure she can't wait to get back now and get back to work and lead a younger group. And I think they're going to be hungry for more. That's just the way we do it at Princeton. And we want to keep developing not only as basketball players, but as leaders, and be just amazing, ambassadors to our incredible university. So, yeah, it's tough, but I think they'll be ready to go.
We have time for one more, if anybody. Jen?
I'm not sure if you saw midway through the game, but your kids showed up for an interview on the video board.
It was so hard, but I heard their voices because I hear them all the time. So I was focused, but I heard something about ice cream, and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, there was ice cream mentioned, and then they yelled "Go Tigers," which the fans seem to love.
Yeah.
Just curious, I know they've been around, starting with your foreign tour, but what has it meant for you to have them around and getting to, kind of learn from your players, especially the senior class that you have here?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing to have this job. I feel so fortunate, and then it's even more amazing to have your family around, because, it's Princeton basketball, but it's a family. These are amazing women and role models that I, would love my kids to grow up and become people like that. And it's a joy. I can't, emphasize that enough. And so for my kids to be loved by my team and vice versa, like it's just so meaningful to be a mom and also get to, coach women's basketball. I have been doing this for a while now, and it's just a greatest joy to be a working mom and not feel like you're ever working, and you're just coaching basketball, coaching the game that you love, and giving back to I had an amazing career, and that's what I'm just trying to do is just give my players the same kind of experience that I had.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, everyone.